Hello, it's Cassandra come back with another video. Today, guys, I just want to come back and talk a little bit about how uh, growing up in a cult and everything could have you really being really passive in life, and not only passive, but just being a yes man and just not knowing how to stand up for yourself and everything. And although I've been out for a long time now, and I'm actually, learning to stand up for myself and let my no mean no and my yes mean yes, and just basically being able to confront things. And so that's why I came here today to really just talk about a little situation that I find myself in. Guys, I always talk about how I was going to these class reunion things and everything. And I always kind of like them because being shunned by my family for so many years, uh, to kind of go with class reunions and stuff like that was kind of, making me feel like I had some kind of community. And this is what I have been doing for a few years. But before all the picnics and everything happened, I guess it was years ago when I was like in my 30s. It was a guy that I had grown up with in the neighborhood. He had contacted me, when I was in the second marriage, and the failure of the marriage was pending and everything. And but that husband, he knew that I had reconnected with this guy, and we were friends, and we had grew up together and stuff like that. And basically, in a nutshell, the guy, talked to me on the phone and everything, and he could say hi to say hi to your husband or whatever, because he knew that we grew up together, so it was okay. So anyway, later on, sharing a lot of information and just always crying to the guy about what I was going through with this marriage. The guy one time said that he was coming, to see me and visit and everything, and just go out to eat, and kind of he had like said he had some kind of like a business a meeting or something that he had to do. So anyway, he kind of just came out and visited. So anyway, meeting him and going out to eat and everything, it was still like light outside. And coming back to the hotel, he was like, just come back up for a few minutes and everything, and just chat and everything, and just kind of like the guy was like, like you would think that because we grew up together, ever since we were like little children, kind of like a brother or cousin or something. So anyway, I went up and everything, but when I went up there and everything, coercion began to happen, you know, and it ended up being whereas I did something or participated in, just kind of like let something happen that I just really didn't like, and I was just really disgusted by it. It was very vulgar and just it was just really terrible for me, and that was adding on to the fact that I was already going through a divorce and everything. And so I never heard from the guy again. It was like obvious that he had gotten what he wanted and everything. But I just repressed it and took responsibility for meeting him out there at the hotel and going into the room like that and everything. But I just said, well, things happen and I was just wrong for that. And it took responsibility and, being submissive and being passive and not knowing how to really stand up for your yes and no and everything like that. So it ended up happening where I really felt really disgusted. And he had sent a gift, something like some shoes or something, some sneakers or something, because he worked at a sporting goods store, a sporting goods store and stuff at the time. And I just, when I went home, I just bathed and just cried and basically like threw up through the, whatever he had bought me. And I really felt bad about it. So I never really talked to the guy. But when we saw each other at the picnics later on in life, I just said hi and just hi and bye. It was like like it was okay. Nothing, no, like it was not a big deal. But bring it up to now. My sister reached out to me and was saying how the guy was reaching out to her and how he was confessing his love to her and everything about how he really wanted to get to know her better. Mind you that he is married, but marriages don't really stop things these days, anyway. And I guess he knew that he had did what he did, taking advantage of me while I was in a marriage. So he was like, well, I can get two for one, her sister now. And so after my sister told me about it, I had never told anybody about what he had done, but I just really couldn't sleep a couple of nights, and I just really went on and revealed to her that what he had done to me. And it had really brought up a lot of pain and everything in my heart and everything, because I could see that he had really not been just a